Hey cruisers, welcome back to the second episode of Coffee and Comments. Today I've got my cup of coffee in my Ember mug, which keeps my coffee hot. I absolutely love this thing, got it as a gift. And I've got my MacBook Pro sitting here with not all, but a lot of your comments. And this is a show that we're planning to do once a month. It was very popular. My first episode seemed to do very well. And basically, it's an opportunity for me to reply to some of your questions and comments that you post to my YouTube channel, to our Facebook group, or sometimes you send me an email. I'm Chris Dickman. I'm the president of CruiseReport.com. We have been cruising for more than 20 years. We are travel journalists. We are not travel agents. We cannot sell you a cruise, even though we do recommend using a travel agent in most cases. But basically, we are here as journalists to review cruise ships, destinations, hotels and resorts, things that pertain to cruising. May not always be a cruise itself. Could be a destination, could be a short excursion. It could be restaurants in a city where you're getting ready to cruise out of, maybe pre-cruise, post-cruise type things. That's kind of what we do. We've been doing it for over 20 years. And we've been on 139 cruises. And I will tell you that number 140 is already scheduled. We haven't got final confirmation or paperwork on it yet. But if everything goes as planned, we will be on the new Carnival Venezia out of New York City. I wouldn't say new because it's not a brand new ship. It's a ship they acquired from Costa, which is one of their brands. But they have refurbished it. They've done some things with the exterior paint, even though they did leave the Costa stack on the ship. So we just thought that was kind of an interesting product for Carnival, a little different than something they've done in the past, and an interesting way to move products around and hardware around from one brand to another. So we want to see what that's all about, and hopefully we're going to be able to get on a 4-night cruise. Now, we don't usually do 4-night cruises because it doesn't give us enough time to really review a ship, especially a large ship like that. It doesn't give us enough time to really experience all the different venues, but we're going to do our best. It just didn't fit into our schedule to do a full 7 nights or 8 nights. We had other things coming up, so we had to go with the 4-night option. Anyway, look for that hopefully coming in the future. Hopefully I'll get final confirmation. We will be flying into New York City a day early, which we always recommend. Anytime you have to fly to an embarkation port, always give yourself an extra day just in case the airlines have delays or cancellations. And we will be staying at the Hotel Elysee in New York City. It's in Manhattan. Looks beautiful. Can't wait to see it. Very excited. And we'll be bringing you information on that as well. Now, the reason we do this show the way we do it, instead of a live question and answer, I know a lot of the vloggers, travel vloggers, cruise vloggers, they'll periodically do a live thing where they take your questions live. And the reason we don't do that is just personal. I just don't particularly like watching live video because it's always a bunch of this, hey Joe, how you doing? Welcome. And, it's a lot of start and stop. And I'd rather do something like this where we can edit it down, get the questions that we want, and show you just kind of the important stuff that we feel like has value to everybody. Okay, let's get started with our very first question. And this is from Betty Chan. This was posted to our YouTube channel in regards to my review of the Holland America Rotterdam. And her comment is, very good and concise evaluation. We'll definitely be sailing on this ship for our next cruise. Thank you for your assessment. Okay, Betty, thank you for that comment. I don't think you'll regret it. The Rotterdam, beautiful ship. We really enjoyed it, and we look forward to going back on Holland America. Harvey H. says, this is pertaining to the video we did on Gen Visa passport service recently. He said, a bit over 10 years ago, I got my renewed passport in a little over a week. How times have changed. They sure have. Those days are gone, Harvey, where you could just go to the State Department or go to the post office and get it renewed and have it done in a week. And for those of you that haven't seen that video, I'll put a link up in the corner of this video if you want to check out that video on the passport service Gen Visa. We used it. We've had excellent results in the past and highly recommend you check them out. Now, Leocat Cruises says, this is regarding our Antarctica bridge cruise on Silversea on Silver Endeavour. Wow, what an adventure. I loved watching you do it. The ship must be used for good weather. Also, I don't see a need for a balcony. Was the ship warm enough? Well, yes, the ship was plenty warm. We never had a problem with the ship being cold unless you go outside. The balcony was still a very nice feature, even in Antarctica, because it gives you the chance to get out and take some really good pictures. Sometimes you'd see whales. You could go out on the balcony and get a little better view of the whales. The balcony glass, or even if you had an ocean view, I don't even know if this ship has ocean view staterooms, but if you did, they get kind of wet and water spots. So if you want to take pictures, you really need to go outside. So you'll either be going out on your balcony or you'll be going out on one of the public decks to do that. So I think the balconies are a good idea. Christina Loveland says, we agree with all that you said about Celebrity Beyond. The staff, food, entertainment was exceptional. Well, thank you, Christina. We really loved Celebrity Beyond. In fact, we're in the process right now of booking a cruise on Celebrity Ascent. We enjoyed Beyond so much. Ricky's having a very significant birthday coming up next year. And of all the cruise lines that we could choose from, we actually chose Celebrity Ascent because of our experience on Beyond and Apex. So we agree. We're very, very pleased with Celebrity. George Leong says, too bad Discovery doesn't have an indoor pool. My cruise on her is coming up this August, and we booked this ship via another couple who's also on this ship's Alaska cruise. If I researched before this booking, I would have looked at other ships that HAL has an indoor pool. Yeah, it is interesting as much time as Princess ships and how many ships they have in Alaska. I think they have more ships in Alaska than anybody else. It is a little interesting that they did not design a covered pool for the use in Alaska. But Holland America does have that feature on their ships, and it is a nice feature, but we really loved Discovery Princess. Malaplava says, I think what that person is referring when they say that cruise ships are harmful for the environment is very true. Ships are getting bigger and bigger and dump toxic waste into oceans and fill the planet with carbon dioxide. This was on my last Coffee and Comments video that she's commenting on, or he, I don't know if it's a he or a she, Malaplava. I think people over-exaggerate the impact that cruise ships have on the ocean. If you've been on any cruises, especially if you've been on transatlantic cruises, and if you've not been on a cruise, let me put it this way. If you've not been on a cruise, I don't think you really have a perspective with how large the ocean is and how small and tiny a cruise ship is compared to the size of the ocean. So when you say dump toxic waste, I assume you mean 25 miles out, they're allowed to dump food or, food that hasn't been eaten, or maybe, I'm not sure about human waste, but things into the ocean, which of course falls to the bottom of the ocean. Now the fish and the life in the ocean will eat most of that food that's dumped. Realize that there's a lot of whales in the ocean. There's a lot of fish in the ocean. They all defecate somewhere. They don't go up on land into a landfill to use the bathroom. It all goes into the ocean. So the amount of waste that goes into the ocean from a cruise ship is nothing compared to the sea life that's in the ocean. I don't know. I have a different position. I'm not going to get into it right now. I just don't think it's as big an issue as everybody makes. As far as the carbon dioxide thing, that's another whole discussion I really don't choose to get into. I am going to be doing a video in the near future where I kind of touch on my thoughts on these things. Maybe it'll give you a little bit different perspective. And this is when I did a video on cruise food. And Thaco says, MDR on Princess has been very bland when I was on their cruises in 2016, 2017. Tomorrow, I'll be cruising with Princess to Alaska, and I hope to see some improvements after Rudi Sodamin is now the head of culinary art at Princess Cruises. You know, Thaco, we're very excited about this collaboration with Rudi because I think he's had a big impact on Carnival and Holland America. We loved both the restaurants of his we've eaten at on both ships. And I too am hoping that this has a very positive impact. We have not sailed on Princess since Rudi Sodamin has taken over in that position. So I am looking forward to that as well. And I'm anxious. Please put your comments in if you're back from that cruise now. Let me know how you feel about the food. Ryukin 50X, this was on our Silversea cruise in Antarctica. Wow, what an amazing natural place. Antarctica is another world for ourselves. How was your experience in Drake Passage? But basically on our Silversea cruise, we did not go through the Drake Passage because we flew to Antarctica, which was one of the nice things about the Silversea experience. Now, we did go through the Drake Passage about 12 or 13 years ago with A&K on the La Boreale. And we got very lucky. We had, they say you either get the Drake Quake or the Drake Shake or the Drake Lake. And we definitely got the Drake Lake. Both directions, going and coming to Antarctica, it was smooth as glass. We had no motion. We just got lucky. And we have not experienced those violent seas in the Drake Passage that others have. So I unfortunately can't really tell you much more than that. Eleanor Kava, this was our last coffee and comments. She said, I enjoyed your C&C comments. Did you ever review Oceania Cruise Line? And she likes all my reviews or all our reviews. Eleanor, we have been trying for a couple of years, 3 years at least, to get on Oceania. We don't have a real working relationship with anybody at Oceania right now, but we are trying. We would love to include it. We did one way back in like 2003 when they first started operations, but it's outdated now. It wouldn't have any value compared to their new ships and their new services. So thank you for that. I get a lot of requests for us to review an Oceania ship. And maybe if you have a contact at Oceania, let them know that you'd like to see a cruise report review of an Oceania ship, because we would definitely love to include them in our review mix. Angie, this is our celebrity review of Celebrity Beyond. Angie said, you two are both thin. You should tell us what you eat on a cruise. Well, I have to work at it to keep my weight where it is. I wouldn't say I'm thin, but I don't think I'm obese, obviously. Ricky is she's one of these people that can eat anything, and she lives on sweets. She can eat anything and never gain weight. And I have to really watch it. I actually follow a low carbohydrate kind of regimen. Now, you'll see me eat a slice of pizza occasionally. It's not like when I go on a cruise, I'm not super, super strict about low carbs. I will eat a piece of bread, but I don't overdo it. I don't eat pastries in the morning. I usually don't eat breakfast. In fact, neither of us usually eat breakfast. We don't usually eat desserts. If we do eat dessert on a cruise ship, we'll usually split one. We'll order one and we'll share it. Sometimes I'll order desserts just so we can try it and review it and talk about it. And we do eat desserts occasionally, but not every night. It's just not something we do. And I never eat dessert at lunchtime. So we just really watch it. That's it. We go to the buffet. We don't go back 3 or 4 times. We don't pile our plates full. I used to, when I was in my 30s and I could get away with it. I used to do that, but now I don't. So I hope that helps answer your question, Angie. Thank you. Mary Joan, talking about my standard balcony stateroom on Holland America Rotterdam, said, just found you. Thank you. I'm trying to figure out the pricing on Holland. How do I budget? Maybe I think she's saying, how do I budget? Mary Joan, my only recommendation to you is get a good travel agent, and they'll give you all the information. It's hard. We don't usually talk about prices on our videos because they change and they're different week to week. Every week on a cruise, the prices are going to be different. So there's really no way to pin that down. Peter H. on our Celebrity Beyond review, he says, amazingly done. Best ever review. Congratulations. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. Getting a lot of comments like that. I'm not going to put them all in here, but it's nice to know that you guys appreciate our reviews. We've been doing this for 20 years. Paul Nisner. And by the way, before I get to Paul's comment, anything you can do, like giving this video a thumbs up or sharing this video on your social media, putting in nice comments, those all help our YouTube channel grow. And the more our YouTube channel grows, the more of these reviews we will be able to do. It just gives us more exposure, gives us more credibility with the cruise lines, gives us a little more reach. So we really appreciate if you can give the thumbs up, the like button down at the bottom. Much appreciated. Okay, Paul says, all the reviews for this ship was one sailing around the Greek islands. I'm sure the reviewers were given a free cruise to promote Silversea. As it was one cruise, I'm sure Silversea made sure service levels were at their highest. But with no subsequent reviews, it may be that this service level is difficult to maintain. Now, this was my review of Silver Moon. This is a little older review, maybe a couple years ago. Now, Paul raises an interesting question. In fact, we were actually on a media press trip where we were invited by Silversea, and there were other media people on board that ship. We have been on Silversea cruises where we paid to go on the cruise, and we were not invited as media guests. And I don't know if I agree with you that they give different service levels just because media are on board the ship. We have always experienced extremely good. Everybody's getting the same service. I can promise you, when the media people get off the ship, there's no different service level for regular guests. It's always top notch, top level. They have high standards. It's just an excellent cruise line. So whatever we tell you we experience, you're going to get that exact same experience when you sail with Silversea. And that's true of most, if not all, cruise lines. Now, there are cases where we've been on extremely large ships, large ship cruise lines, and they will have a 2-day media sailing. And we try to avoid these. Sometimes we will go, but since we have to fly from Dallas, Fort Worth, we'll usually not go because it's just not worth the airline ticket and all that. On those types of sailings, where it's basically a media preview cruise, the reason we don't go, in addition to the cost of the flights, is it is not the same experience you're going to get as a customer, because they're going to have special parties, they're going to have cocktails, they're going to have meetings, they are going to have a different service for the media people or for the travel agents than they do for their regular passengers, and it makes it impossible for us to review the cruise, because you're not going to get invited to a special champagne cocktail party with the CEO of the company, because that ain't going to be happening. So we usually prefer to go on our own, where we're the only media on board, or maybe there's 1 or 2 other couples, but we usually don't even know if they're there. And we're treated, as far as the crew and the staff go, they don't have a clue that we're there reviewing the ship. They don't know anything about that. They give us the same service. Okay, thanks, Paul. It's a valid question. I appreciate that. LAP says, this is also on Silver Moon. I really enjoyed this video. I'm planning a world cruise probably in 2025, more likely 2026, and I'm increasingly leaning towards Silversea. Silver Dawn seems to be the world cruise ship, so very interested in your report on her sister ship. We did not get a chance to sail on Silver Dawn because it was just full. It was sold out. I think a world cruise on Silver Dawn would be epic. If you could get on it, I'd book it fast. I know that they just recently released some pricing for the World Cruise in 2026, so I'd check that out very quickly because those things sell out fast. And you can't go wrong with Silversea. I mean, it's top tier. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce this name. Yes, I am going to attempt it, but I'm from Texas, so bear with me. Oni and Yeki. I'm not going to try the last name, but Oni and Yeki. I hope I'm saying that right. It might be Obi and Yechi. She's asking a question about our Silversea Antarctica cruise recently. Her question is, are there options for the polar plunge? Yes. I thought I covered that in our review video. Maybe I didn't. But yes, they did do a polar plunge one day. I did not do it, but several people did. I was surprised how many people did the polar plunge. What they did is they opened up one of the doors on the side of the ship, put out a little platform, tied a rope around you, and poof, you're off in the freezing cold water. And a lot of people did it. Not me. Nicholas Petriella says, hi, do you have a review of Excursions? Mainly the number of people on and off the ship, time-wise, not necessarily the excursions themselves. Nicholas, we did not do any excursions on Celebrity Beyond. This is regarding Celebrity Beyond. However, they have one of the most creative and interesting and unique areas for excursion disembarkation that I've ever seen. It's a very nice little area, looks extremely organized. So I'm guessing that for a ship this size, they do an excellent job of handling getting people on and off the ship. Now, we did walk off the ship just to walk around port, but we didn't do an excursion. So by the time we got down there to get off the ship, it wasn't crowded at all. There were no people lined up waiting to get off for an excursion. Based on what we saw of the area of the ship, it's like they really did design it for this purpose. So looks very nice. And I know we didn't have any tender ports, but when they tender, they can use the magic carpet as a disembarkation for the tenders. Very cool the way they did it. Okay, I've got another name here. I don't exactly know how to pronounce. Rudi? This is on our MSC Seashore Balcony Stateroom review. Hi, I love your reviews. Been cruising since '99. Have you done the Yacht Club on MSC? I get a lot of questions about this. We have a lot of luxury people on our channel that do luxury cruises, or they'll do suites on cruises. And we've done a lot of reviews of luxury ships like Silversea and Crystal and others. One of the biggest questions I get is if we've done the MSC Yacht Club. And I have been unable to get MSC up to this point to understand that we would really love to review the MSC Yacht Club. Now, we have toured the Yacht Club, and it's beautiful, very nice, the private restaurant, the private bar and lounge and all that. We would love to experience a cruise in the Yacht Club, but we have not done it. We have not stayed in a Yacht Club stateroom. I think it would probably be a very nice experience, but that's all I can say. I can't tell you firsthand what it's like, unfortunately. Thank you for that question. Julie Reasoner asks, this is about Celebrity Beyond. Hi there, and thanks for your very informative report. We have an upcoming trip booked on Beyond, and I have a question about the Wi-Fi. Do you have the basic Wi-Fi or the upgraded premium Wi-Fi? I really took note of your spotty service the last 2 days of your cruise. Julie, we had the upgraded. We had the premium Wi-Fi. And for the first 5 days, it was very good. The last 2 days, it was very bad. I don't know why. I just don't know why cruise ships can't figure this out. Yeah, we did have the premium service. So I don't know what the regular Wi-Fi service is like. Like I say, maybe this is something they've got worked out. Maybe it was because we were located in a certain part of the world. I don't think it's that where we were was that it was like Grand Cayman or something. So I don't know why that would be any different than the rest of the Caribbean. But anyway, Julie, I hope that answers your questions. Yes, we had the premium. Mark Roberts, this is on Cruise Tech. I did a video on that, little technical gadgets and stuff we travel with. We have used an over-the-door shoe organizer with great success. It'll have a dozen or more clear pockets for shoes, but we fill them with all the small items that clutter the cabin and you need to be able to find quickly. This is a great idea. I may actually try this. One of those little over-the-door shoe. You can buy them on Amazon for nothing. In fact, I'll find one and put it in the description of this video if you're interested. I'll find one that might be a good fit for this. So thanks, Mark, for that tip. That's a good idea. At Farab4304391 says, thank you for the thorough review. I loved all the detail, and the chapter markers are a bonus. Regarding liking the prawn cocktail, but it not being a large enough portion, I was under the impression that you could order multiple dishes, not just the one starter, main, and pudding. Must be British because he refers to dessert as pudding. Or do I have this wrong? Okay, I think we mentioned in that review that Ricky got the shrimp cocktail and it had like 4 medium-sized shrimp. And she was a little disappointed it didn't have more shrimp or that the shrimp weren't larger. Can't you just order more than one? You can, but there's a couple of things. It puts a lady in an uncomfortable position sometimes. A guy doesn't care. A guy say, hey, bring me 3 of those. Some ladies are a little hesitant to do that. They don't want to appear like a glutton, and you don't know when you order the first time what's going to be in there. So I guess the second time, if you knew, you could say, hey, could I get 2 of these? But it puts you in an uncomfortable, as a customer, it makes it uncomfortable for you it makes it look to the way, you're afraid the waiter's going to think you're a pig. Bring me 3 of these, bring me 2 of these, because you already know there's only 4 shrimp. So that's my reasoning on that is, a guy, it probably wouldn't matter. Yeah, you just go ahead and order 2 of them. Now, if you say you eat one and you say, well, it wasn't enough, I want another one. Well, now you got to get the waitress's attention. It throws off the timing of the other dishes coming to the table because maybe they've already brought your main course and now you want another shrimp cocktail. Better that they just go ahead and put 5 or 6 shrimp in. That's just my opinion. Okay. Thank you for that comment. And that's it. That is Coffee and Comments for June 2023. Listen, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to put your comments down below. And don't forget to share this video with other people. I've really enjoyed responding to your comments today. If you have any questions, put it in the comments of this video, and maybe I'll respond to it in the next Coffee and Comments. So thanks for joining me today. Until next time, smooth sailing.